Hey, I keep getting kicked off. Not sure what's going on. Sometimes that happens here in Facebook Live. I'm going to finish up the next four results of the five fantastic uses that you don't know um, of Citi ThankYou points. And I'm going to upload this over to YouTube so that you can catch the replay. All right. Number two, Citi ThankYou points. Not sure why it keeps getting cut off. Five fantastic uses of Citi ThankYou points you don't know. I just covered Life Miles, number one, United States Zone 2 to United States Zone 2, 7,500 miles. North America to Brazil, 50,000 miles in J. North Asia to South Asia, 36,000 miles. In J, that includes Japan all the way down to Singapore and Thailand. It's only 36,000 life miles to fly in business class on Singapore or Thai Airways, so an absolutely fantastic deal. Transfer your ThankYou points over to Life Miles. Number two, Turkish Miles and Smiles. Chicago to Mumbai. People are asking me all the time, hey, how do I fly down to India from the U.S.? A lot of people want to go visit India. They never think about transferring ThankYou points over to Turkish Miles and Smiles because it's only 52,500 in business class to go from the U.S. down to India. Sweet spot number two, North America to Turkey, round trip, only 45,000 each way in business, 90,000 round trip. Washington Dulles to San Francisco, 12,500 Turkish miles and smiles in business first. Yeah, that's right, 12,500 business first. That's it. That's all it takes to fly United domestic. Now they put a little bit of fuel surcharges on there, about $100. But if you fly business class transcontinental lie flat, it's a really great deal. Hey, Sydney to Honolulu, Hawaii down to Australia. It's only 15,000 Turkish miles and smiles in economy. Wonderful deal. There are a lot of nuances with Turkish. What you need to do is if you want to book Star Alliance partners, you have to go and you got to ticket these either at a ticket office or over the phone with a particular office that's going to allow you to send credit card information over email. And so if you just Google booking Star Alliance tickets on Turkish Miles and Smiles, a ton of articles are going to come up that tell you these nuances. But a lot of really good places in here. Chicago to India, 52,500 business. North America round trip to Turkey in business, 90,000. Sydney to Honolulu, 15,000. You want to email the offices to get these ticketed. So that's number two, Turkish Miles and Smiles. Could do an entire 30-minute session of just about that program. Let's go on to number three, Cutter Miles. So who thinks about transferring ThankYou points to Q Miles? Actually, it can make a whole lot of sense when you're doing it that way. Or when you decide to do that, because it's only 70,000 Q miles to fly anywhere in the U.S. to Doha on Qatar Metal, which is a fantastic, luxurious airline, and nobody else charges only 70,000 to fly all the way to the Middle East in business class. So think about transferring ThankYou points over to Q miles, 70,000 one way in business class. They have something called a Q calculator. There is no award chart with Qatar Miles. You have to go onto the Q calculator, punch in your origin and destination, and that's what's going to tell you how many miles it's going to cost. Really not any other sweet spots in that program I found, just US to Doha, 70K business class, brand new A350. I hope they're flying the new 777 up to New York that's got the new suites deal where the four people can sit together facing each other. So probably a really great deal if you want to go into the Middle East. Number four, you probably don't know about. Etihad, right? So if you've been following me for a while, I talk about Etihad guest program all the time. So many great uses in there. But I'm going to call your attention to two specific ones that you may have not read or thought about. So first is you can fly Royal Air Morocco, the national airline of Morocco, Northern Africa, from JFK to Casablanca, 787 Dreamliner service, business class, 44,000 Etihad guest miles, transferred from Citi ThankYou points. That's it, 44,000. You're flying Dreamliner business class over the Atlantic, JFK to Casablanca, and you're there in no time. What a great deal. All right, the second one is Czech Airlines. You can fly from Prague, middle of Europe, over to Seoul, 787 Dreamliner service, business class, 25,610 miles. That is it, 25,610 to go from Europe to North Asia in business class, Czech Airlines. What an experience that will be. What a great excuse to get over to Prague. Somewhere I've never been, but I continue to hear great things about, and then I really love Seoul. It costs absolutely nothing, so transfer your ThankYou points over to Etihad. Look at all the other partners that they have. There's a lot of great deals hiding in those charts. Every single partner has a different chart. Really tricky because you have to VPN into another country's version of the Etihad website in order to get these partner charts to pull up. Just something really weird Etihad has done. So step 1, turn VPN on. Step 2, select a country other than the US. Step 3, go to the Etihad guest website, pull up the partner charts, and find all these ridiculous sweet spots and deals like Royal Air Morocco, like Czech Airlines Prague to Seoul I just told you about. So that's reason, or way number 4, to use Citi ThankYou points you probably don't know about. Number 5, a program that might have the least amount of coverage. That's a transfer partner of anybody. So EVA Air Infinity Mileage lands. So EVA, some people say EVA Air. They have the Hello Kitty plane that flies to the States. Taiwanese carrier based in Taipei. You can do some really neat things with this program because, first of all, on Star Alliance round trip tickets, they allow 2 stopovers and 1 open jaw. So that gives you the opportunity to see 3 or 4 different cities for the price of 1 on the same ticket. So round trip, Star Alliance, 2 stopovers, 1 open jaw. I'm going to go back in the comments after this and put some links up to a few of these programs, specifically to the Star Alliance chart because it's actually not on the internet. It's something that you have to download, which is a little bit weird, and it's not really pretty to look at. So I'll give you the link to download the Star Alliance chart for EVA Air Infinity Mileage lands. What's the sweet spot? So North Asia. According to EVA Air, North Asia is Guam, Japan, Micronesia, Palau, Mongolia. Okay, sure. If you guys want to define it as that, then we'll take advantage of it. So with that region in mind, 55,000 EVA Air Infinity Mileage Land miles, transferred from Citi ThankYou points, and you can do this itinerary. You go from Tokyo to Guam, stop over and see Guam, Guam to Saipan. You can open jaw then from Saipan over to Palau, airport code ROR. And from Palau, you can go to Seoul. You can stop over and see Seoul as long as you want and end up back in Tokyo. So 55,000 miles round trip business class, Asiana and United. Tokyo, Guam, Saipan, open jaw, which is actually just going to cost you 12,500 more United miles to fly from Saipan to Palau. See Palau as long as you want, go up to Seoul, stop over in Seoul as long as you want, and back to Tokyo. Tokyo round trip with 4 different destinations, all in business class. Some of those are 4 or 5 hour flights. 55,000 EVA Air Infinity Mileage Land miles. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you've never looked at that program. And those are some of the things you have. I'm going to see if I can pull up some of these links right now and throw them onto you, starting with the Infinity Mileage Land Star Alliance chart, which you have to download. Put that right there in the comments for you, and then I'm going to go over and put the award routing and Star Alliance rules when you're trying to ticket one of these bad boys for EVA Air Infinity Mileage Lands. So a quick recap of our 5 ways to use Citi ThankYou points I bet you didn't know. Number 1, Life Miles, Avianca, brand new Citi ThankYou point transfer partner. United States 2 to United States 2, only 7,500 miles one way. That means Miami, Florida up to Montana. That apparently is in the same zone according to Life Miles. 7,500 Citi ThankYou points transferred to Avianca. Staying with Life Miles, North America to Brazil, 50,000 in business. U.S. Zone 1 to Europe Zone 1, 60,000 one way in business. North Asia to South Asia, only 36,000 in business. That is Singapore and Thai Airways from Tokyo to Singapore. Tokyo to Bangkok, 7-hour red-eye flights, business class, only 36,000. ThankYou points transfer to Life Miles. Number 2, Turkish Miles and Smiles. U.S. to India, 52,500 in business. That's the best price that there is in business to India from the U.S. that I know of. Period, stop, any program, 52.5 in business. North America to Turkey, 90,000 round trip in business. That's Turkish Miles and Smiles. Domestic United flights in business class, 12,500 miles. IAD San Francisco Business First 767 lie flat, 12,500 miles, but it does have about $100 in taxes and fuel surcharges. Well, what a great deal for a transcon, business class lie flat seat. Sydney to Honolulu, 15,000 in economy. You got to ticket these partner flights from Turkish either in a ticket office or some have let them do it over the email. If you just Google Star Alliance Turkish partners, you're going to get a whole bunch of flyer talk threads and articles walking you through the process. But consider it the next time you want to transfer Citi ThankYou points. Number 3, Cutter Miles, 70,000 one way in business to Doha from anywhere in the U.S. That's it. One of the best products in the sky. That's the cheapest I know from the U.S. to the Middle East in business class on one of the best products. Etihad, 44,000 JFK to Casablanca, Royal Air Morocco, business class 787. That's it, 44,000 miles done. And then 25,610, again, 25,610. Who writes this award chart? That's the number. Prague to Seoul, Czech Airlines. That's it. I mean, Europe to North Asia, 25,610 Etihad or 25,610 Citi ThankYou points. And then we just talked about EVA Air Infinity Mileage Lands, 2 stopovers, 1 open jaw and award tickets. The North Asia sector is huge, and you can do some cool things, and I put the links up right there so that you could see that. Sorry about technical difficulties tonight, but I hope you learned some of these uses. I'm going to go back and see what we can do next week to make sure that doesn't happen. Until that time, hey, we're having a great time in the group. Go and support Charles and Hope. That is our charity. I'm going to put this link up one more time so that you can do our holiday drive. Support the kids over there in Charleston, South Carolina, a city that is very important to me. My father grew up there. I've been going my whole life to visit grandmother's cousins, and my parents just moved back there. Just put the link up. Consider donating $10 to make sure Title I kids in Charleston, South Carolina have what they deserve to have a lovely Christmas. Support the group. Use the links in the pinned post. Protect that credit score. It's so much fun having a blast doing this. I hope everybody's having a great start to the holiday season, getting those Christmas lights up. We're going to catch you again, same time, same place next Tuesday. See you later.